we know who our faith lies in, but we also have to have resources in the community and access, because losing your child, everything goes away. I mean, you have so much loss. You have a loss of jobs, you loss of finances, loss of friends. You just taking losses after loss after loss, and you like, God, how much more losses can I have? So I would like to introduce Miss Paulisha. She is a therapist.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Before I get started, I just want to admonish all of you that's sitting here on the panel, because I believe that it takes great strength to even come while you're still grieving to get your story out, your message out, and that's incredible courage. Um, we've talked and we've heard a lot about loss, but we really don't talk a lot about grief and how we can deal with that. What is the next step? How do we begin to move forward? And so I wanted to say that grief is a natural part of the healing process. It's nothing wrong. A lot of times we stereotype and feel like, okay, well, there must be, something wrong with me if I'm feeling sad or depressed, but it's a very healthy process to go through. I think the issue that comes into play is when we have so many overwhelming emotions, and we experience symptoms of depression or anxiety or guilt, trauma, or fear. I'm going to give you a quick statistic that just came out. Every day, 7 children and teens are killed. Okay, that's broken down. 4 are murdered and 2 by suicide. So that has a great impact when you put that in perspective. And as I heard somebody say earlier, we can't let another child be lost to gun violence. One of the things also that I think is very important for us to talk about as an African American community is the taboo of seeking mental health services. Especially for our community, we are a strong and resilient community, and so we're used to dealing with our problems on our own. Okay, we don't want anybody in our business. We got this. And so I think that it's going to be very important, and again, taking a courageous step to recognize and acknowledge that there's nothing wrong for you to seek out the mental health or the professional health between somebody that you feel is a trusted member. I currently work as a licensed therapist at the Village Life Center, and so I think that it's very wonderful that she's the Village Mothers, and I'm working with the Village Life Center. We are actually located downtown on Crawford, 2101 Crawford Street, and we provide mental health services, grief counseling for children, adolescents, and adults. And so if you are looking for, and we actually come out to you, we provide services in the home, in the school, wherever you're wanting to meet up. So after the show, or if anybody's listening out there that is looking for some grief counseling, you can give me a call. Again, my name is Paulisha Aguilard. My phone number is 281-620-9011.
Could you give the number one more time for the callers?
Yes. Again, that number is 281-620-9011.
And Paulisha, you raised an interesting point. In the African American community, we're taught privacy. We're really, really, really taught privacy. What goes on in the home stays at the home. Don't tell nobody no business. All of this kind of deal. At what point can you kind of comment about at what point that, especially when we deal with tragedy or mental health issues that are taboo in our community, at what point does privacy turn into isolation?
I think that when you avoid the issues that you're dealing with when you talk about grief, anxiety, fear, guilt, you begin to go away on the inside. So you might have the support of your family and you might talk to your family, but if you are in the mode of just dealing every day, but you're not really acknowledging what's actually happening to you emotionally, physically. Somebody mentioned about taking self-care. It's gonna come out in a different way. Somebody mentioned about you eat too much, you eat too less. And so then you start to withdraw yourself from the things that you normally would do. So that again is why it's so important to be able to talk with somebody outside of a family member that can help to reconnect you into what, and it's, I want to say that again, you'll never replace the loss that you feel, But I think working with grief counselors, that you will begin to learn a new way of being. And so that's why it's so important.
How many, I'm curious, because Brother Kemp raised a question that I've often wondered, and I was thinking about after our last show, Calandria. How many men do you normally see, Paulie? You know, how often do the brothers come and talk to the issue?
The brothers don't come.
And see that, and again, you know.
No, we just catch it at home.
Exactly, and so
Catch
Brother
it.
Kemp, my heart bleeds just like yours does, because I've had friends, who were deceased and who died, and I know their fathers, and they were my coaches growing up, and I've seen them withdraw, and I'm, you know, over the past 15, 20 years, and so, you know, I really, I would just love for you to give that call again to the men that are listening that may be dealing with it, because a lot of them just
To
don't.
the issue, yeah. Like in my neighborhood community,